What is up, guys? We are here with another Overprime video. How is everyone doing today? We are talking about the roadmap plans, the changes that they decided to do for the game. All right. I wasn't planning on making another video where I sit down and talk about some stuff, but I guess here we are. I was going to do another VOD for tomorrow, but we're making content, I guess, guys. But exciting changes. I read over it a little bit. I kind of skimmed through some stuff. So there's some exciting stuff in here. So let's go over this. And if you guys do like the video, of course, subscribe and like. Thank you guys for helping me, supporting me as always. Appreciate you guys very much. I know I haven't been streaming a lot or playing a lot for that matter, but you know, I'm doing it. Hopefully these changes are going to definitely inspire the game to be better. There are some delays, so look out for that, but let's get into it. To all of our warriors who continue to enjoy the game and show us their support, we'd like to update you on some of the changes we've made to our previously published roadmap. So obviously that means delays or some other changes, maybe more additions, who knows. First, we'd like to talk about the changes to the roadmap. New warrior support goal, addition enhancements plan. In the roadmap we released at the beginning of the year, we said that negative experiences with one-sided games had a significant impact on new warriors leaving. That would be changing our initial direction to give those players a better introduction to the game. As a result, the changes we made to the tutorial and AI matchmaking, we saw significant metric improvements. I don't know what metrics you're looking at, I guess, but good for you. I'm glad, but I don't know. I guess it's hard to see that kind of like valuable feedback. During our February and March updates, however, we're not stopping there. We are working on a number of additional improvements to help new warriors settle into the game. Starter pass, early entry pathway improvements. Following the previous tutorial overhaul, we're also looking to improve early pathways for new warriors. As a result, we'll create a new starter pass and add systems to help our warriors have a more positive experience, which is good. I think just streamlining the characters in there is fine. Excuse me, my throat. And they're just adding more additions, basically. It's just maybe more characters or something. I don't know. Just gold, Renar, who knows? We'll also be improving the ease of use and filters to make use for easier warrior or for new warriors. Maybe like have, again, there's beginner recommendations and stuff. Maybe have it highlighted or somewhere, like, you know, for like Steel, he's a beginner character, I guess, in solo. That'd be good. AI battle and new mode. Interesting. We'll be adding AI battles for beginner warriors to train in after they create their accounts. We've also overhauled the system to allow us to experiment with and quickly implement different modes. This is interesting because it seems like they're going to just keep adding different game modes, but I'm curious, like, is it going to be at the same time? Is it going to be like only on weekends? I'm curious on what they mean by this. I'm excited because if we can get like ARM modes and stuff and different maps, that'd be super cool. But like, it would have to filter out to where like we can only play the main mode and then maybe another mode kind of on the side. Disable ranked. Please, disable ranked. Terrible mode, splitting up the player base, not balanced. Disable it. We plan on experimenting more once the changes becomes more stable. Hero release schedule adjustment. Schedule adjusted to raise hero quality. When we announced the roadmap, we said we were going to aim for 2 heroes updates per month. However, we realized by adding 2 heroes and modifying them both in such a short period of time could make it difficult to make improvements. So we're moving to a schedule of 1 hero per month for the sake of variety and quality. Therefore, after releasing the original hero Mako in March, we'll release Drongo in April, Greystone in May, and original hero Adele in June. Unfortunately, I'm very sad about this, especially you Grim lovers. I know you guys are crying, but I'm glad Adele is still coming in June. But that means the next 3 releases is going to be either, was it Richter, Grim, and then get a new hero. So we know who the next 2 are going to be. So that means Yin isn't coming probably anytime soon unless she's in October, but probably not, unfortunately. I'm hoping she's in October, so fingers crossed. That's my birthday month. Please give me my wife on my birthday, please and thank you. I want it really bad, and also keep the game alive, please and thank you. Overall, good change though, I think. I am upset we're not getting Greystone this month, but we're getting Drongo, that loser. Hopefully we get Greystone pretty early into May. Probably not, but I'm praying, I'm guessing around the 20th or something like that, 25th or whatever. So we should be getting Drongo next week, I suppose. So it's going to be pretty late, but yeah, we're getting him next week. And yeah, it's a shame that we're not getting Greystone. I'm a little bummed because I was really looking forward to him this month, and we're coming near the end of May, which is where we should be getting him, but we're not getting him, so sad face. But we're getting him in May, so so next month's gonna be very exciting. I'm gonna be playing the game a lot more. I've been taking like a sort of like a break. I've been streaming less, playing less, just kind of chilling. Obviously, there's a lot of problems with the game. I'm getting really more frustrated with like the optimization aspect because I glitched with the Aurora recently. I can't play Xena optimally because it just glitches so much. I really want them to fix this because it's like, every time I play the game and I'm picking a character, I'm like, damn, I'm looking at Xena and I'm like, I want to play her. And it's just, I know it's like only people who want to play Xena who experience this major issue. And there's other small issues, but mostly on Xena. And it's like, it's super frustrating knowing that they haven't fixed this since the start of the game. And like Kwang Dash being broken now because of it, it's like, these are you know, that's not the reason, but it's like things like that, just their servers need fixing, and it's like they're not doing it. And I know it's hard, but they shouldn't have released the game in a state where like she's so broken. I thought they were going to fix it after a while, and they just haven't. So please fix it. Please and thank you. Second, we'd like to talk about future development direction. It's been around 5 months since early access began for Paragon the Overprime. We'd like to thank our warriors for enjoying the game and providing us with great feedback. Over the past 5 months, we've thought long and hard about the remaining problems that were identified in warrior feedback data analysis. We are preparing an improvement plan to provide a more satisfying service for our many warriors. We wanted to share with you the direction of the improvements we plan on making. Enhance the core fun should always be the objective, honestly. Remove ranked. Unique hero passives. Passives unique to each hero will allow for more compatibility between heroes and more individualization. Heroes will gain more solid identities with their own unique features and characteristics through these unique passives. So if you guys don't know, old Paragon, they used to have passives. In Predecessor, they had passives. I think in Fall they did too. I always said I don't need characters to have passives. I think that's just a waste of a slot. I still think that's true. I think if you have a passive, it should be in your kit. Like, it should be down on there. Like, you don't need... Now, everyone having a passive would be good, but what I'm saying is you don't need to actually have, like... For instance, Chimera has his... Well, I guess it's he needs another passive because he already has, like, the regen or whatever. But look at Crunch. Like, he has a passive where he... I think it's auto attacks and it reduces his cooldowns, right? That should be in his kit. But, yeah, if you have to have a passive, you can have one, but he doesn't need another passive. You know what I'm saying? Like, Crunch has a mechanic. He doesn't need another one. He doesn't need another passive in any capacity. So... I think when a hero needs it, it's one thing, but I think if you want every hero to have a passive, that's fine, but just make it so it's in their kit, and like you don't need to give Crunch another passive. If they do, cool, but that can cause power imbalance. Also, you have to balance around it, stuff like that. It's like, it's just harder game balancing. I get they want to make their game more complex, but I don't know. It's cool. It's most MOBAs have it. It's just... I just don't think every character needs one. But again, I'm pretty sure I'm the minority with that one. I think everyone wants passives back. I just don't think it's necessary. But it's cool. It's interesting. It's going to spice up the game, so I'm excited. I think balancing is going to be a nightmare because you're going to add... I'm assuming they're going to do it... I don't know. They can't really do it slowly because it'd be imbalanced, but they're going to do it one at a time. That'd be imbalanced. So they'd have to do 33 passives just like that, like out of thin air. It's like... I know, it's just a little weird. For more strategic action early lane combat, we are planning on adjusting EXP for limiting enemies in a lane, increase gold in lanes, and lower the difficulty of returning to a lane. This change, fucking phenomenal. I'm gonna go back to this. In particular, fast health mono recovery from sprint mode, jump pads, and bases made lane combat less important and reduced the losses taken in lane. As such, we're going to make significant improvements to this to make the lane combat itself more important. So completely ignoring the last part, the first part, they're going to adjust the EXP for eliminating enemies in lane and increase gold in lanes. So they didn't say they're going to increase EXP, but they did say they're going to increase gold. This is a great change. I don't think EXP in lane necessarily needs to be increased when you kill somebody. I think the EXP there is fine. I think maybe even it might need a little nerf. Maybe it's hard to tell because you're not just dropping kills in lane unless your enemy team is throwing. But I feel like I'm not max level because of it, right? But when it comes to the gold being increased is something I've been asking for from the start. I said multiple times, if gold is increased in lane, that will make it lane a priority. Because right now, like for instance, I keep getting in an argument with people, even other like players, top players. Countess is one of the easiest characters to play right now. I put her S tier on my tier list because you don't have to clear the wave. I think if you made it so that like you have to go and last hit every single minion because you get a shit ton of gold from that, then everyone will have to play a character who can reliably last hit, and they actually have to use your abilities on the wave because you can't. Because for me, when I play a lane, right, all I'm doing is ignoring the wave usually, unless I'm like, okay, in mid specifically. I'll ignore the wave and just hit my opponent. I don't care about hitting the minions because I will have an advantage from getting a kill. It's like 500 gold or something like that. I don't remember exactly how much. It might be 500. But the lane gives me like 105 max, and like it's not even that much at the beginning of the game or whatever. It's like, it's just, it's a very big detriment to try and just focus on farming in this game. It doesn't give you a major advantage. I feel like in League, you get a little bit more of an advantage. I'm not sure how they weight kills versus gold in that game and like the catch-up mechanic and stuff, but it definitely is a lot more than Overprime. I feel like I get items relatively faster, depending on what role I'm playing. So, and I always get full build. Same with Pred. Pred, you get full build just by laning, pretty much. Obviously, by kills, you're going to get more, full build faster, which should be the case. But most of the time when you're laning, I mean, I've played Pred a little bit, and I've laned exclusively before and gotten full build nearly, so it's pretty fast. It's like, it's very bad. I think they definitely need to make Overprime's like, you know, the gold farming lane is more important, because again, then that means I couldn't play Countess in mid, because if I have to clear, I can't focus on doing damage, which means I have to put myself in danger, which means she's not a viable mid. I know it's like taking away a role, but that applies to a lot of people. Like Shinbi would struggle a little bit more. She'd take more damage. She wouldn't be as safe as she is. Any melee going in any lane really would struggle more. Granted, they need to nerf rangers before they do that, probably for early game, but you know, that's just, again, it's overall, it's a good change though, just because again, getting full build more across the board also would probably reduce game times, because you'd be killing a lot more, as long as the timers might be adjusted a little bit less or more, depending. I think more, probably more than less, but again, it depends on how fast the gold farm is. So I'm excited to see this change. This, honestly, I don't think any change in the patch is probably going to surprise me as much as this one. This one is probably going to top it, unless there's a surfer change that they're just going to say it's going to be fixed. This is one of my favorite changes. This is what I've been asking for from the start of the game, pretty much. Very excited. Please make the change. But yes, anyways. And then also this part, health and mana recovery from sprint mode is not a thing. I think they mean when you pop a pot and run away. I don't know what this means at all. This is not a thing. It'd be crazy if it was, because if it was, I didn't know. But it's not. Jump pads. I don't know, what do they mean by jump pads? What's the jump pad in this game? Is there a jump? Oh, base. Okay, I see what they're saying. Base pads. And bases made, and bases. I don't know what any, like, what? Huh? And bases, like, these are some, like, this doesn't exist. Jump pads are, I guess, like, yeah, you get out of base fast, and then bases themselves, I don't know, whatever. We're going to make significant improvements, blah, blah, blah. Enhance repeated play, enhance variable creation elements. We're planning the following improvements to make sure the game is fun to play over and over again, and that every round feels fresh. Yeah, I think stuff like the deer and stuff, like, they tried to do that, and it's like, they need to make it a little bit different. I don't like random elements in MOBAs at all, so I don't really want, like, something, but it would be cool to have, like, a dragon fly in randomly, or, like, maybe, like, I don't know, something just crazy. I don't know what they could add. I really don't have any ideas. I'm trying to play other MOBAs to find out what it is exactly I want from Overprime, aside from just the general MOBA stuff. But I want something different from, like, another MOBA. Like, I don't want just another 3D League, right? Adjusted item, I mean, that's better than nothing, by the way. Adjusted item balances and add new items. Purchasing items is an important strategic element that greatly impacts both the game and the heroes. While the recent item balance adjustments result in the use of a wider variety of items, I can actually attest to this. Or sorry, I can confidently say this is true, because before I was building like one thing always. Like, I never really had another build. I've been struggling to find builds a lot on different characters, including mages. There's different varieties. There's a general mage build right now for me personally, and just in general, if you're like a ranged mage or a melee mage, there's pretty much general build you can follow, but there are a couple of variety options. Same with warriors. Like, there's other options you can do. Spirit's Fang is still a must-have if you don't get that you're trolling, but other than that, you can go pretty much whatever you want. There's plenty of different builds you can do, whether you're a tank, you know, hybrid, full damage for some awful reason, unless you're playing Zena. There's a lot of different things you can do. So that's interesting. I'm glad that they acknowledge that, because item variety is important. Having different build options is important. I don't want just one cookie cutter build, and I want different things to apply to different situations. But for warriors and tanks and stuff, it's been the same for a while. Like, Xemia's toy is still a must-have for every single tank, sadly. So maybe they need to fix that too. Buff the other tank, like, not don't buff the other items, but nerf Xemia's more. I think it's already nerfed enough. It's just the item's just too good. But yeah, I don't know. It's like just something else, man. It's just something else. Like, just more items as well. They said they're going to be adding. So they said, we believe strategic diversity is still lacking, so we'll be improving underused items and adding new items to encourage strategic choices, which is great. Thank you. But they should probably not look at just usage rate, because a lot of people don't play tanks or just build. But again, I guess when they play that role, they build certain things. I still have people who are like very high rank who play certain things. They don't know how to play certain things that I play a completely different way, because there's not a lot of people in the game. So when you balance off of just our stats alone, it's going to make the game really imbalanced until we get a proper player base. It just is. Like, every ranger I see builds really weird. One of the best ranger items is crossbow alloy carbon, whatever it's called, and I don't know how much people use that item, but I barely see it in a lot of play. And it's like, for me, when I play ranger, right, I'm not the best player ever, but to me, the stats and everything on the item when going in the training mode is one of the highest you can get, one of the highest values you can get, especially early, considering what it does. And a lot of people don't purchase that. I noticed, not just brand new players, I'm talking about people with 800-900 games. And if I perform better than them super easily in the early game, and they're like, what the, but if that item gets buffed for some reason, despite having already insane stats, and insane capabilities, it's the strongest carry item in the game by far, starting off. Like, it's the best item you can get by far. It's cheap. You can get it really fast. It counters other carries completely. It gives you a lot of power. Technically, there are other options if you're trying to go anti-tank for some reason there's like 4 tanks in the enemy team or something. You can start off with the health scaling one. But for the most part, it's pretty much the best. But that item's not used. So if they buff, do stuff like that where they buff items that are good, but people just don't use them for some reason, that's a little bit, again, I guess that's what most games do, but it's like, it's just, there's a fine line, because like, I don't want things getting broken again. I don't want another Zymia's toy era, you know, and we're still in a tank meta in my opinion, but people just don't stop playing tanks for some reason. But people, you know, when I have tanks on my team, it's an easy game. You just run over people. So it's like, they just need to adjust the items in the game definitely first, but they also just, I mean, I want new items, so I do want them to add them as a priority as well. Definitely something I'm personally interested in. First, for like my build variety and stuff, I'm very interested in that, but please, I mean, yes, buff the underused items for sure that are like actually just terrible, right? Like if you know, but it's hard to tell. Again, that's a fine line, because again, the data collection they're getting isn't accurate in my opinion. We'll be removing items like adding spell temporary name and characteristic temporary name systems. We'll be removing items like Destroyer Stone and Decima Stone, thank God, by the way, that minimize variables, and adding a spell temporary name system. We're hoping to give this will give warriors the ability to strategically choose starting items based on their allies and enemies. Thank fucking God, by the way. This is one of the best changes they're actually adding as well. It's not up there with the gold change, but it's up there. I've sold Destroyer Stone at crucial moments before in a fight, because you'll straight up just lose a fight if you grab Destroyer Stone. If you're not strictly going for the orb, you can lose a fight pretty hard because you just lack an item. Decima's Gemstone is one thing that I also like. There should be spells in the game like in League, but there wasn't. So them adding that is such a huge step up. We're hoping to give warriors the ability to strategically choose items based on their enemies, our items and allies. Our enemies and allies. In addition, we're adding a characteristic temporary name system to create more variation in strategy in early lane combat. I don't really know what that means. Characteristic system. What is that? Someone tell me. Improved portals. Paragon the Overprime is characterized by fast, speedy combat. Portals are a strategic map element that can sometimes be used to quickly regroup and divide the opposing team, or as a means of escape. However, we believe that portals are being used incorrectly and too frequently, making them troublesome for solo and dual lane warriors. I agree. Therefore, we're planning improvements to minimize this issue for affected lanes by having warriors clarify where they're going and what they're doing when they use a portal, so solo and duo warriors can better prepare. So I guess it tells you, that's going to tell you on the screen. That's cool. I think they should temporarily remove portals, or at least add a map that doesn't have portals and just have that played for a week or something and see how that changes the outlook of the game. I'm curious, because I always liked the portal system, and I think I remember at the start of the game where you're just using it incorrectly, like they said, and like they weren't taking advantage of the system because they were like, this is just get out of jail free card. I'm like, no, it's a good ganking like tool, and now people do use it as a ganking tool, but I'm curious if people actually like the portal system still. I think the middle portal should be removed. I think the side portals are fine. I think the middle portals definitely should be removed. I don't think it's I think it's stupid. I think it's really dumb. I know there's plays you can make with it. I just think it's dumb. Improved Prime Guardians. We have observed 3 main problems with the Prime Guardian system. First, the lack of strategic options available for defeating a Prime Guardian. Second, some unpleasant sentiments from that stem from the core damage inflicted by shockwaves. Third, defeating the Prime Guardian gives the team an overwhelming defense advantage. Is that true? Do they get, how much defense do you get from the orb? I'm curious. For starters, we'll be making changes to the various strategic options available to teams for defeating Prime Guardians to give them a clearer advantage. Okay. Driving them to consider different strategies and tactics. We'll also remove the damage that shockwaves deal to core, and we'll be consider adjusting the damage dealt to towers and inhibitors. Probably should just lower it, probably remove it altogether, in my opinion. Finally, we'll be adding restrictions to the circumstances in which a solo player can defeat a Prime Guardian, to make it so that taking away the Guardian buff can create an upset. I'm curious what they mean by this. Like, if I'm a solo player, like a Chimera, and I want to go solo orb, or if I'm Wukong and I solo orb, does that mean I just don't get the buff? Or does that mean something goes wrong? Like, my team doesn't get the full buff? Like, I only get the buff? Like, if you have to be near it or something? Like, I'm curious what this means, because it says it only means when a solo player does it. But how do you determine when a player is soloing it? What if someone's around the orb? Is it a vicinity thing? Like, I'm curious. I want to know. I hope they go into detail about this soon. Advance the bounty system. The bounty system is meant to jumpstart a turnaround, but it's not currently filling its role. We're planning specific improvements to the structure of the current bounty system so that it can be used by disadvantaged teams as a method to turn the tide of a battle. I agree. I think when you get a kill on someone who's dropping fucking like 10 kills, that it should give you like 1 million gold for your whole team, not just you. If you complete a bounty, your team should benefit. I think that's like, I don't know how every MOBA works. I think Smite does this now. There's a gold distribution or something, and also getting certain objectives obviously give you more gold depending if you're behind or ahead. But I think when it comes to bounties, if you're behind and you kill someone who's like out of control, anyone, your whole team should get that benefit, and you for killing them should get the most benefit, of course. But I'm curious, like, what they're they're talking about for the advanced bounty system. I definitely want to see a change with this because I feel like right now it's pretty useless, like you said, just pretty useless. Improvements for the continued play, add a mastery system. We are planning to add a mastery system similar to the one with the original Paragon, removing the direction of rewarding players' mastery skins for playing their favorite heroes. Is this retroactive? I don't really care if it is retroactive, honestly. I just really don't care. I will play the shit out of Sarah the second you drop this. I will play her every single game just to get her mastery skin and show my mastery on her specifically, and just like, I'm gonna be a Sarah one trick probably until Yin comes out, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with Yin. I don't care if it's, but I want to know if we're gonna be rewarded at all for the levels we have on our account. I don't really care, like I said. I know people are going to be like, but I don't care. The game is in beta. Who cares, really? Who honestly cares? Start over. Have fun. Start over. I know you probably don't want to play the same character a million times because you already have done it, but who cares about your playtime? Like, think about it, from a fresh start. But I'm curious. I want them to clarify if it's going to be retroactive or not. Add community level rewards. We think community level increases another element of fun for warriors. As such, we're planning to give warriors rewards to celebrate when they increase their community level, which I think is just their account level. Thank God, by the way. Miscellaneous improvements. In addition to the above changes, we are working on the following improvements to create an even better game environment. Fix some identified bugs, reducing a portion of the cooldown when canceling your skill or ultimate. This is a really big talking point I saw on like for the minions and stuff like that. Like, very, very interested in seeing that. UI improvements, improving visual effects by showing ultimate availability in the allies' health bars. Art improvements, improving the overall quality of lighting, textures, and animations, etc. Watcher's Eye system improvements, make adjustments for possible fairness issues when installing a Watcher's Eye in difficult situations. Push system improvements, revealing the attacker's location for the duration of the enemy is attacked from a bush with no visibility. This is a fucking great change, by the way. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Thank God. I don't know if League does this. I can't really tell because I'm really bad at the game, but thank God. Jungle monster regen logic and location adjustments. We're going to close the growth gap between jungle position and heroes. I'm curious on what they mean by this as well. I mean, there's some clunkiness, but it's pretty fine generally. Make them look better, make them look cooler. We have many other improvements in the works, and we'll always be here for, we'll always be here for all the warriors who continue to love Paragon the Overprime, so we can provide the best service possible. I'm glad because everyone was like, it's gonna shut down soon. Like, I'm glad. Gives me a lot of hope that like they're they're stuck. Like, they can't just shut down the game now in 3 months, which means I'm guaranteed to get Adele at least. I'm hoping, again, I'm not trying to be pessimistic here. I'm hoping we make it till Yin. Please, just let me play her again. I just want to see her. Predator or Overprime. I don't care which one does it first. Just let me play this character again. But anyways, I'm glad. I'm happy. This roadmap is really good. Everything was addressed in here. The biggest thing that wasn't addressed was the servers. Please, dear God, tell me you are adjusting the servers. Xena is still broken. She's not a playable character. If you add another character, anything like Xena, she's going to be broken too. I don't want that. Fix the collision, I don't think there was anything specifically for server side, because again, it's a server side thing. Now the bug, maybe it's a server side bug and that could be adjusted, but please, dear Lord, I need that to be fixed. That's like one of the biggest disappointments and for me, like watching the development of the game, is that they just I let this thing persist, and it's like, I don't know how you fix it, just fix it, I'm glad they fixed like the terrain thing where you can go up and down slopes now with dashes and stuff. That's really cool. And like, they broke Kwong's dash in the process, but they fixed a lot of the Aurora wall glitches, even though there still is some. It's not as apparent because it was every dash I'd fall through it, but now it's like I don't ever fall through it, but I sometimes glitch out and like teleport back in place. Just fix your server logic. But anyways, overall, really good changes. I'm very, 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 very excited for the goal changes, and I mean insanely excited for these changes. These are one of the best changes. Also, the removal of Destroyer Stone, Decima Stone, also really excited for spells to come in the game. Prime Guardian changes look amazing. The bounty system, the mastery system, the community rewards all sound amazing. These are really, really good changes. There was no mention of map changes, but they didn't mention a new game mode. I do hope they also add more map things, like just more variety. I don't know what else like other MOBAs have. I really don't. I don't pay attention to the map, but I would like the map to feel more alive because I play this game every day, and I'm like, I really want, I don't know. They also have a lot of new player changes, which is really good, I think, just in general for new players. Because obviously that's like the biggest fall off they had is like the new player thing. It is a shame they're also just delaying heroes, but I'm glad we're getting Greystone at least next month. I'm glad we're still getting Adele in June. I was wondering how they were going to do that. I should have expected that to happen every 3 months. They want to add a new hero. Or a new brand new hero. They're gonna have to slow down the development after they release all the characters. Like, I'm assuming we're running into a schedule where like we're going every 3 months as a brand new hero, because that's all that's gonna be left. So once we get Boris or Terra, whoever's last, we'll probably after that be on a 3-month schedule, which I'm fine with. 4 heroes a year is fine by me. And we'll actually have a game on our hands because we'll have a lot of people in the different roles. So I'm excited. I'm glad they're still spicing in their new heroes before they just keep adding. Like with predecessor, I feel like they did add Kira pretty fast, but I don't know if they're going to add another hero of their own for a while. And the way they're, where they're at right now with character releases, it's every month they're adding a new character. So it's going to be pretty slow for Pred, but like, they have like, I think they have like 14 or 15 or 16 or something to go, but we have like, I think 9 or something like that. I can't really think off the top of my head. So we don't have that many to go, but I'm excited for like Yin and stuff. Obviously, Terra Morgesh. I know people are fucking dying for her, that demon. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm not gonna try to make this too long like that tier list. I'm excited. I can't wait for these changes. I probably will be, I probably won't be like playing the game super hardcore, like 10-12 hour streams like normal. I might have a few days where I'm doing like 6-7 hour streams, but I'm definitely trying to like, I'm playing other MOBAs, the none that exist, like the mobile MOBAs, and then like a league, just to see what I want from Overprime specifically, and like until I like really know, because I feel like there's still more I want aside from just like server-ish changes and gold farm, but like for the most part, these addressed a lot of my issues. So I'm glad. It's a matter of time. I hope this doesn't come next year. I hope it's all this year. All this stuff is happening soon. Since they mentioned it, I'm assuming this is what they're working on currently right now, and we'll see some of these changes come into effect next month and the month after and the month after that. So I'm assuming within the next 3 months, most of these changes hopefully are implemented. That's my hope, especially like the spell stuff and the lane stuff. Those are stuff that they need to do like within the next like 3-4 weeks, right? Like that's stuff like I need to see immediately, because that's gonna change the game completely. It's gonna make it way more fun, and once that happens, it's like back, that's back to my 12-hour streams, right? Like, but right now, it's just kind of stale. Like I understand why people are they're just bored, right? I get that, and also the rewards, obviously, incentive is also important. So add the mastery system, community levels and stuff, also really important to add. And there's plenty of other changes like new player changes and stuff like that. There's plenty of improvements they can make, bugs that need to be fixing, server issues, stuff like that. So I'm hoping they're working on all this stuff, and I'm glad they're working on stuff that they mentioned. I'm very excited. Definitely raised my hope for the game, and I'm glad they locked us into like the game isn't dying anytime soon. Like I'm glad they locked that in, because everyone was like all doom and gloom about it. I'm like, dude, it's an early access basically, like or beta test basically. I'm not really that worried about it shutting down now. I'm just worried about its future long term because of the bad press basically it's getting. But I keep seeing videos of people saying this game is so good and this game is fun, or this random game. Like, I see a couple of videos like that, and I'm glad people see it and like, it's fun. Of course it's fun. It's a 3D action MOBA. Who doesn't like that like intense high octane gameplay? But I can see why people don't like it when they get into it, because there's a lot of issues with the game right now. So, but it's exciting. So I'm excited. Very good changes. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited as well. I hope you stick with me for this ride. I'm not going anywhere, so I'm very excited for this. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.